The development of today's game, Air Fortress, was directed by HAL's Hiroaki Suga. Suga is an unsung hero in gaming, as many developers are, but thanks to Suga we got to enjoy Eggerland, or Adventures of Lolo as it was called in the US, and freaking Kirby! He was the producer for pretty much every Kirby release from then on, at least through Kirby's Planet Robobot in 2016, the last credit of his I could find. I love finding out who is responsible for my games outside of just a corporate logo slapped on the box like HAL here. Let's see what Hiroaki Suga did with Air Fortress.
Are you really good at video games? And are you ready for some real action? Then you're ready for Air Fortress America, the game that pits you against awesome firepower. And in decades of airlocks, passageways, and corridors, where you blast and dodge danger at every turn. Until you destroy the power reactor. Then get out before it blows! Selected for the 1990 Nintendo World Championships and now available for $49.95 plus postage and handling by calling OMLC at 800-468-5354. Order now and receive game plus t-shirt and Air Fortress posters. Don't delay. Visa and MasterCard accepted. Call 800-468-5354 now.
Air Fortress is a split-genre space shoot-'em-up / action-adventure game. You start out mounted on a light ship as pilot Hal Bailman. Notice his name is Hal, like the game's developer. You take control of his Space Horse missile thing that actually looks more like Hal is riding a bomb, like that dude from Dr. Strangelove. And that didn't end well for that guy. But Hal does okay here. In guiding the ship, you'll be doing regular horizontally scrolling space shoot-'em-up stuff, shooting at things coming at you and dodging what you can't shoot. In these stages, Hal is making his way to an air fortress. There are 8 total air fortresses in the game, so each level is split where the first part is the shoot-'em-up portion of Hal traveling to the fortress, and the second part is Hal inside the fortress. On his way to the fortress, Hal fires his ship's laser beams, which can't be upgraded, but he can pick up a screen clear item or a barrier item that will make him invincible for a brief period. You'll definitely want to focus on picking up the E's for energy and B's for ammo for your crash beam you'll be using later. Essentially, the more of this stuff you get here, the better prepared you are for the on-foot portion of the game. The shoot-'em-up levels do graduate slightly in difficulty level to level as you would expect, but it's never the toughest part of the game. The real difficulty comes from the on-foot portion, which I guess is a misnomer, since you'll spend most of your time floating freely about in weak gravity and your feet rarely touch the ground. Notice the E and B in the upper left-hand corner. E, or energy, is crucial. You can find more energy pickups while inside the Air Fortress, but the more you pick up on your way through the shoot-'em-up levels, the better off you are. The B's, or your crash beams, are a higher powered weapon than your regular infinite laser blast, and you can only use those in the on-foot portion. You're limited on those, so you want to use them only when necessary, like if you're in a pickle, or you arrive to destroy the fortress's nucleus. The fortresses start out with a simple layout. You'll navigate through them, trying not to get hit, which takes off some of your energy, and also being careful about floating about through the levels in a highly efficient way, as simply floating also uses energy. Fortunately, your regular bullets are completely infinite, and I've seen people sail through these levels by facing Hal backward and just spamming the shot and going as fast as possible. I'm not that confident in my own abilities, but that's an option. As you go, the fortresses get a little more, fortified. The shoot-'em-up classification still applies here, but you have freedom to go wherever you want in the levels. There's plenty of bullet hell going on, and there's no real need to kill everything on screen. With limited energy, it's best to just get through there quickly, especially considering the fortresses in later levels add some sprawl and introduce some forks in your path. Doubling back is a big part of the latter half of the game, and there's nothing worse than seeing your energy drop near zero when you have plenty more fortress left to explore. What is Hal up to with these fortresses anyway? Well, as the story goes, the people of planet Farmel have developed a new kind of light ship that lets them go to other galaxies. Out on a scouting mission to the Hubert galaxy, they find 8 air fortresses that survive only by feeding on defenseless civilizations. That's a big no bueno. It is decided by the Farmel government that the fortresses must be destroyed, so Farmel dispatches an armada to go fight. That armada was completely wiped out. Wondering what to do next, Farmel eventually decides to send just plain old Hal Bailman, the planet's lovable hero, on a last-ditch mission to restore balance to the galaxy. No pressure there, Hal. Each air fortress has a nucleus that Hal has to get to and destroy, and then he has to escape the air fortress and get back to his space horse missile thing before running out of energy. So destroying the fortress's nucleus is only part of each mission. You have to get back out safely. The music and sound design in Air Fortress is pretty decent. You'll mostly hear your own shots ringing out if you spam the attack button. You may notice the escape music shares vibes with Metroid's music as well. It's also worth noting that the game has infinite continues and a 4-digit password system if you need to take a break and come back later. Air Fortress is a high-quality, well-made game that presents an adequate challenge for most players while still being a good time for the casual NES fan. I would recommend anyone give Air Fortress a whirl. Despite being an afterthought on most lists, it's a pretty decent time, and looking at the developer pedigree, it makes sense why. If you were paying attention back in the day when the game came out, you could mail order a free Air Fortress t-shirt if you bought the game. The NES is the only home for Air Fortress. There were no other ports and no sequels to it, so that's going to do it for Air Fortress on the NES. As always, save a horse and write a space horse missile thing. And thanks for watching.